All right, we got a 2017 Range Rover, Land Rover, Evoque, whatever the thing is. It's a Range Rover. It's got a 4-cylinder turbo in there. It's got 163,111 miles. Let me just give you a backstory. This was a couple weeks in the making. This came for a misfire originally, but left working perfectly fine. And when I looked in the computer data, wound up having a cylinder 4 misfire. So I swapped 4 with 1. And weeks later, it wound up coming back for the same complaint. But right now, it's running perfectly fine. I'm going to show you how to determine what's going on and how to fix this. Even though I swapped the coils and the issue moved and it's running fine, well, to keep from having to buy stuff and swap things, let me show you how to justify replacing the necessary component. So one big thing, what they did, whoever had it last and replaced the coils, they had replaced all the coils. And one of the biggest no-nos on vehicles is replace all the coils. This is why you should never replace all the coils. Is reasons being, well, I've had coils that were 30 years old work a lot better than a month-old coil. So it's best just to replace as needed, because those old original coils are going to outlast anything that's aftermarket 99.9% of the time. So mind you, I wound up swapping 4 with 1, and now that it came back, I wound up having a misfire on cylinder 1. Logically, yeah, replace the coil, but it could be an injector, you know. But let me show you exactly why it's the coil. Here I got an amp clamp. I got to make this quick because my battery is low. We're going to put it on the low amp scale. So for every 100 millivolts, we're making 1 amp. And we need about 9 amps on most coils. So we do have a standard. We have 3 other coils that are working as they should, but we have 1 that's questionable. Let me hook up the 1 and show you what is going on. So this coil used conventional theory. I just need to have this facing our 12-volt source, which is going to be this green wire here, this green and white wire. I'm gonna start it up and then we're going to get a capture. So again, for every 100 millivolts, we're going to get an amp. Most coils are typically 1 amp. So let me start it up. So right now, this is the number 3 coil. This is going to be our standard. I have my voltage on 1 volt, time based on 5 milliseconds, and I have a trigger. So right now we're making around about, at a peak, close to 6 amps right now. This is just going to be a standard. The 9 amp thing is just general information. All right, there's like some ripple going through there, but let's hook up to number 1, the one that's in question. But with this one, all right, sneeze. With number 3, we have a nice smooth transitioning upward motion, and it drops off. So this is I think this is a right angle. Don't hold me on that. I wasn't that smart in school. So we have a triangulated shape that'll make like a right angle or left angle, whatever it is. So anyway, let's look up on the other one here that's in question. Check this one out. This is our intermittent issue. This is only making about 4 amps, around about 4. Let's move it down here. So around about 4 amps, and this is not a smooth ascending sharp transition up. So it moves up, but it's not sharp. It doesn't peak and then fall off. It is limited, and we got that rigidness right there. So pretty much we're justified in replacing this coil because it doesn't meet the standards of a working coil. Number 3 wasn't a problem. We don't have any voltage issues because the coil functions and it works. It's just the internal problem. What we could do is swap them and then do the same measurement, but I'm 100% confident we need a new coil just because it is weak. This is just the sign of a weak coil right here. Y'all know O'Reilly's is the common store I deal with. Here's the part number. And I'm aware this is aftermarket, but we're gonna pop this in there and just fix this problem. That's the main thing. That's what the whole premise of a warranty is, despite questionable part quality. So it should be okay. Pull that out. We got 8mm. Pop that out like so. Alright. Put the new one in. And we should have a good looking waveform. I've seen aftermarket coils do something totally different from factory stuff. I'm interested to see what this one looks like, as long as it fixes the problem though. You know, I'm not gonna break my neck over it. So I'm gonna put that back in there. Lock that in place. Alright, we got a little battery left. Here we go, start it up. Alright, let's see what our waveform is looking like now. Oh yeah, look at that, beautiful. Beautiful. So we're right at the standards where number 3 was. Let's get our trigger back in there. That is amazing. That is a big difference. So before, remember it was making around 4 amps. This one is right here is making right at 6 amps. So this is fixed. Let's go back to number 3 here. See? This one is just a slight bit weaker under 6, but we're right at 6. This one, and now we're slightly above 6, so this one's a little bit stronger. So it's brand new. Not sure where the other coils came from, but this is fixed. Now, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go ahead and check the other ones too to see if they're in the midst of failing, but being that I know one was the primary one, let's just hook up on these others 2 here. Let me cut the insulation up a little bit. So I'm on number 2. Here's coil 2, performing well. Let's go to number 4 and see how that one's doing. Here's coil number 4. That one also is producing great amperage. So we're in good shape. All these coils are back in a normal functioning state now. I'm gonna go into control unit and knock this code out, just get everything cleared out so it wouldn't be. So yeah, there's a misfire on cylinder 1. So even though we had a misfire on cylinder 2, it was temporary, and this was intermittent. This, depending on how the system's designed, it can give you false data as far as where the misfire is coming from. But this is, yep, so the checking, yep, sorry, so it's still erased it anyway, so we're good. You can see how important it is to have an oscilloscope so you can be ahead of the game. Even though I swapped the coils a while ago, well, this right here eliminated potential comebacks. I still could have just replaced it and been done with it, but I can think clearly now and sleep easy now because I saw that this coil was failing. And I don't have to sit there and like speculate, well, what if it was just a conjecture? You know, I ain't gotta do all that stuff. I know the coil had failed. We saw how limited it was, and it's gonna work out just fine now. So I'm gonna let this go because I got a bunch of other stuff to work on. If anything happened, I'll definitely update. Hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, how to reach some more work. See you next one.